Now let's jump right into it and talk about what estate agency business is all about. But first, we have to talk about agency as a concept. Now, agency is a fiduciary relationship created when a person, that's the principal, appoints or authorizes another person, that's the agent, to act on his behalf. So, an agent owes a fiduciary relationship or duty to his principal. Now, that fiduciary right there means trust. So it's a trust relationship, to put it in another sense, because the principal is appointing the agent to act on his behalf, that's to do things he as a principal ought to do by himself. So there has to be trust in this. So agency is not only restricted to estate or real estate transactions. Agency itself is a commercial law concept, which means that it covers a lot of area in terms of what the agent can be appointed to do, because an agent can actually be appointed to enter into a contract, carry out a sale, sue, or enter into legal representation on behalf of the principal. Now, there are different types of agents, but let's just focus on estate agency relationship. And there will be a course dedicated specially to the concept of agency. Please check out the course page so you can find this course. Now, let's look at who is an estate agent, so we can properly put this concept into perspective. Now, an estate agent is, or ought to be, or could be, a licensed professional who represents buyers or sellers in real estate disposition or acquisition. Now, estate agents in some countries are required to be licensed, while in some countries the licensing requirement is not a prerequisite for starting the business. For instance, in the US, estate agents have to be licensed, but in the UK and Nigeria, estate agents are not required to be licensed, but may belong to professional associations, but are not required to be licensed. So that's not all. An estate agent can also act as a real estate asset or property manager, superintending over a rental property on behalf of the client, which means that a client who is not in the country, for instance, may have a property which he wants to be rented out, and so the estate agent can stand in and rent it out, and also take care of the property and carry out day-to-day maintenance as may be required to keep the property in shape. So for us to really understand the main function or the main purpose of estate agency is for us to look at it in a pictorial representation. Now, I would like to present to you an estate agent, buyer or renter, property owner triangle, so you can understand in details what estate agency is all about. Now, let's assume that someone with cash is looking to buy or rent a property on the one hand, and then there's a property owner looking to rent or sell his property, and both of them do not know how to connect to each other, and then they need a conduit pipe to connect them, and that's where the estate agent comes in. So the estate agent is more or less like a finder or someone who connects people in real estate transactions. So it can be the agent of the buyer or renter, or can be the agent of the property owner, or both of them can have their agents. So at the point where they are connected, in most cases it's the work of the estate agent. So that's how important the estate agents are in real estate transactions. Now, estate agency as a business is very important, because Most of the houses that are occupied today and most of the developed areas that you see today are as a result of the efforts of estate agents. And so the business of estate agency can simply be defined as introducing or negotiating with people who want to buy, sell, or rent properties, where this is done in the course of a business pursuant to instructions from a client. Now, this is the definition coined out from the estate agency law of the United Kingdom, and this has been modified. And from this definition, you can see that there has to be a business in estate agency, whether as an individual estate agent or as a registered company. So also there has to be instructions from a client where an estate agent or an estate agency business is involved, and that is one of the main and underlining principle of estate agency business. So as an estate agent or a prospective estate agent, one of the key elements or items that you need to hold close is the element of contract. You have to understand what contract is all about, and that will help you in your estate agency business.